Hi, I'm Anuj. I'm a director of photography, virtual production enthusiast, an Unreal Engine artist, and a post-production specialist. And I'm here to share my experiments to explore what's possible in this new tech-enabled era of storytelling. And today, we're going to turn a real person into a 3D animatable hyper-realistic metahuman using photo scanning, Blender, and Unreal Engine. Let's dive in. So for this first bit, we're going to apply a process called photogrammetry, which is nothing but a 3D reconstruction of people, places, and objects using a large sample size of high quality images. And for this, we're going to use an app called Kiri Engine, available both on Android and iOS. So I'm going to go inside this app. And before I start scanning, it's just an app that will be clicking pictures in burst. So essentially we are doing that, and we have three orientations of the camera to take care of while we are scanning. We have to get the top contour of the face, we need to get the middle contour, and we need to get the underlying contour of the face. So for that we use three camera orientations. The first one is the camera is here on the top trying to get the forehead tilted at a 45-degree angle, and we move from ear to ear and then back. So this is my orientation 1 to get the top third of the head like this, ear to ear and back. In the second one, I hold the camera parallel to the face and more like eye level, and I'm going again ear to ear and back. And then in my third orientation, the top was like this. We are again at a 45-degree complementary mirror image orientation, and now ear to ear, we will get the underlying contours of the face. And just make sure that the subject is flat lit. So now I have opened Kiri Engine. I'm just going to click on this plus button. I'm going to go into photo scan, take photos, videos. I'm going to click on timer. I'm going to click 1 second, and I'm going to start with the top orientation first. It starts clicking. As you can see, I'm moving from ear to ear and trying to get the top contour of his face. Now I'll move back. Now eye level, more parallel, ear to ear, back, low angle, 45-degree tilt, moving ear to ear. You can always move back a step if you feel that your subject is cropping in the images. I'll press stop. I'll just scrub through my images and see if I have everything. So now I'm done with my scan. I'm going to click on texture resolution 4K, file format. I can use OBJ, FBX, GLB, GLTF, but for the sake of convenience, I'm going to use GLTF right now. And because this will be imported in Blender, and I'm going to click on upload. And now it's going to upload my files and it's going to scan. So okay guys, we're done with the scanning bit, and now let's look at how we have fared in this process. So I'm going to open Kiri Engine and I'm going to wait for my scan to load, and whoa ho ho! Look at that. Look at that. I think this is pretty good. This is as realistic as it gets. I'm going to just rename my project here as Aman because he's my friend who has just been courteous enough to have his face scanned and be turned into a 3D character. And I'm going to export this, and the model will be sent to my email address, and I will just click on send. So now that we are done with the scanning, let's clean it up a bit and prepare it for Unreal Engine inside Blender. Let's jump in. Open Blender. I'll hide the cube. I'll click on File, Import, GLTF, Aman.gltf. My friend's name is Aman, and here we go. Not bad at all. So now I'm just going to click on Unlit
and I'm going to press Alt and my middle mouse click, and I'm going to bring it to -Y. If I keep rotating it, you'll see it'll show you the front view that, okay, the X is the front view right now. So I want -Y as my front view. I'm doing this because Unreal is -Y forward and Z up. So I'm just matching Unreal's Cartesian coordinates. That's it. So when we bring in meshes from scanning apps like Polycam or Kiri Engine, we'll always see that the mesh is really off in its orientation. So what we can do is we can press Alt, bring -Y as a front view because we need to follow Unreal's coordinates. Unreal is -Y forward and Z up. So now we just need to make sure this is facing forward. So I'm going to press R and I'm going to rotate it a bit along the X axis. So R, and I press X, and then I just bring it a little forward like this. Now I'm going to rotate it again about the Y axis. So I press R and Y and I rotate it a bit like this. And again, I just want him to look straight into me and not like sideways. So I'm going to press R and Z. I'm going to use the Z axis and I am just going to make him look a little straighter. And I'm going to click out. And this is done. I'm going to press Alt again. I'm going to press my middle click and I'm going to turn things around to see whether he's sitting straight. He seems to be hunched a little. I can correct that. I'm going to press R and X and I'm going to straighten him up a bit. I'm going to click and this is set. Now I'm going to press Shift and S and I'm going to click on cursor to world origin. I'll press Shift S again. I'll press selection to cursor and then now I'm going to right click on this. And I'm gonna click on origin to geometry. This sets the origin alongside my face, and Alt and middle click and just see everything's moving. One last bit, I'm gonna just set all my locations to 0, 0, and 0. And I'm gonna press Ctrl A and apply all transforms because I am just resetting the orientation of my mesh and I want Blender and both Unreal Engine to treat this as the default orientation upon import. So I'm going to apply all transforms and this is done. You see that everything is set to a default here. And now I see that there are a lot of these fringe vertices on my mesh, and this is a common problem with scanning. I see that a lot of broken polygons and a lot of broken vertices are here. And to get rid of them, I'm just going to go into edit mode and I'm going to click on mesh, clean up, delete loose. You see that it hasn't deleted anything, but the trick's not done here. So I'm going to press A again to select all my vertices. I'll go back again into mesh, clean up, degenerate dissolve. You see that it has removed 3 vertices, 7 edges and 4 faces, but we are still not done here. There's one more cleanup step. So I'm going to go back into mesh, clean up, and I'm going to click on merge by distance. You see that it has removed close to around 200,000 vertices. And when I go back into my object mode, I see that my mesh is a lot cleaner. So with this being done, I just need to cut out the contour of the face. I just need just this part because the Metahuman creator will take care of the grooms, ears and everything else in the body separately. So I'm just gonna align his face looking sideways. I'm just gonna go into a profile view. I'm just gonna make sure my X-ray mode is on. I'm gonna go into edit mode. Just make sure my vertices, my mesh is unselected. I'm gonna press C. It's a quick selection tool and I'm just gonna roll it to select the face like that. I'm gonna press escape, move out of this brush, press Alt, middle click and see if my selection is all right. I'm not happy with my selection, so I'm going to click out. You can always click out, and now I'm going to go back into a profile view. I do not need to get the ears, so yeah, I'm just going to press C, just avoiding the ears and just selecting the face. This makes sure everything is selected. I'm going to press escape again, and I think I have a clean selection. So now I just need to keep the face and delete everything else. So the easy way to do it is to press Control or Command on the Mac and I. This will invert your selection, and then press the delete key, delete all the vertices, and boom, I go back into object mode. I see that I have a very nice clean. So I'm freely rotating this by not pressing Alt and just the middle click. But if I want to see my orthographic views, I press Alt and I then turn around my mouse. So with this being done, I can always come here and click on viewport shading and see that, okay, he has a bit of hair that I can maybe clean up. I do not need the hair because Metahuman does hair separately. So I'm going to go back into edit mode, just select this top bit, press delete, vertices, go back into object mode. And I think I'm happy with this. I'm happy with what I've made here, and I think it's good for an export right now. So I'm just going to click on File, Export, FBX, because Unreal takes an FBX. I'm going to name it that Aman Toot or FBX because that is my friend's name. I'm just going to make sure that my path mode is set to copy, and this little box is clicked here so that it embeds all the textures and materials that have been scanned in. Limit selection to selected objects. Just make sure your selection is selected. Mesh, object types, you just need the mesh, and make sure that the transform settings are Y minus Y forward and Z up, and we export FBX. So alright guys, now I am inside of Unreal Engine. I have just opened up a nice environment for all of us to have a bit of fun. So first things first, I am going to import my file. I can just drag and drop my FBX inside and just make sure that my textures are checked and my material is also checked. And I press import, and you see that we get this nice mesh that we prepared in Blender. I'm going to double click on it, press Alt and my left key, and just turn around and see that, okay, not bad. So this looks good. I'm going to go right click, go on Metahuman, click on Metahuman identity, name as Aman ID. I'm going to double click here, go on create components from mesh and select my mesh Aman Toot, and here we go. So now here I'm just gonna set the orientation of my mesh so that it's just looking dead on straight as like a proper front view. I'm gonna come here and click on this plus button. I can click on this button here as well. I'm just gonna click on promote frame. It'll say current promoted frame will be set as front view. I'm gonna press OK. Once this is done, I'm gonna click on track markers, and you will see that it's automatically going to generate your eyes, lips, the wrinkles around the nose. You can always edit these markers. Like if I click on this line here, I can move this whole line. But if I click on individual handles, I can turn these handles. These are the points which Unreal will be looking at to animate. And if I want to add new points, I can just press control and left click, and I can add new points. And if I just want to move the whole thing, I press on the line that moves the whole thing. You'll see that pressing on this line selects the whole shape, and you can just move the whole thing together. Here in the eyebrows, it's in 3 sets, like this part, and this part. The iris can be moved, and if you want to just redo the shape, you can always turn these things around if you feel that it's a nice fit. Mostly Unreal is very accurate with this. These are my lower lips, these are the upper lips, and Unreal does a really good job in tracking this. So now I'm happy with this. I'm gonna click on Metahuman Identity Solve, and once this is done, I'm gonna save and I'm gonna exit out of this. I'm gonna go back into my content browser, and I see that the Aman ID as Metahuman Identity is ready for me. So now I'm just gonna right click and go into Metahuman, click on Metahuman character, name him as Aman because this guy is going to be my character. And I'm gonna double click. It's gonna take me inside the Metahuman character asset. One very important thing to keep in mind, if this is not working on your system, so just go on Edit, Plugins, and type Metahuman, and just make sure all these Metahuman plugins are checked. They solve different things at different parts of the pipeline, but for the sake of convenience, just have all of these checked. Once this is done, it'll ask you to restart the engine. Also, one more thing that you might encounter, there could be a Metahuman core data problem. So for that, you can always go into your library and just make sure in the options that you have this Metahuman creator core data installed. If it's not, then you can just click on it and apply, and it takes a few minutes to install. Once all of this is done, we can go back to our Metahuman window. There are different panels here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply my identity on this default Metahuman. So I'm just going to click on confirm from identity, and it has already picked up Aman ID from here, and I'm going to click on confirm. And I see that, oh, there's already a change here, and I see that it's very close to my friend made. So in the head part, if I just click on materials and come back to the head now, it'll just apply a default material to the Metahuman. The first and foremost, I'm not happy with the eyes. So if I just want to sculpt and add finer details, so just click on the head tab, click on sculpt, and you will see that it'll give us a lot of control handles to make finer adjustments to our Metahuman. And just one thing to keep in mind, there's one point here, there's one option called symmetric manipulation. So if this is checked, everything will happen symmetrically. But if you want to individually tackle sides and different profiles of the character, you can just uncheck this and then just work with just the one. Also, one more thing to keep in mind, if you want to add more handles to be able to turn things around, so just control and click the same way as we did in the identity asset. We can then just set control markers individually, and new control markers take care of our Metahuman setup. So I'm just going to do the eyes, so bear with me. My head is set. I'm happy for now. So the more you manipulate, the better, and I would urge you guys to spend some time with this. Now I'm just going to go into my materials tab, and I'm just going to go into the skin tone, click here on the skin tone, and I can set my skin tone. So whenever I'm happy, I'll just set what I'm happy with. First is the skin tone. The second is the face texture index that we are looking at, and we have more than 150 indices. I can just change these and select an appropriate face texture that I'm looking at. And this is absolutely stunning from Unreal Engine. Pre-made, pre-textured, hyper-realistic skin that you can use. I'm just gonna brighten my skin tone a bit. Yeah, I like this. I can also do freckles, like how much. You'll have to play around with these to understand how these work better. I can change the density of the freckles. I can change the strength of the freckles. I can change the saturation. I can shift the tone. These are like finer changes. You'll be able to see these changes here, like what's happening. And once I'm done with this, I will probably go into the body tab, and this is the interesting bit. I can do it in two ways. I can select 3 body types, throw them here, and then just whenever I'll have to sculpt, I am just going between these 3 body types. I can sculpt different parts of the body like this. So basically I'm just going here and I'm just blending between these 3 body types. So if I'm between these two, so I'll just go here and I'll take it here. If I want the other 2 there, so this is how it's going to affect the body. But what I like more about the body is the parametric controls. So when we go into body, I'm going to go into the model mode, and this is where I get all my parametric controls. I can just turn this, make him more masculine, make him more muscular, increase the shoulder blade, increase chest, waist. I can individually make changes to the body. These controls are very robust. I'll suggest you guys to just go ahead and play with them to understand how they work better. They're very self-explanatory. Once I'm happy, I'm just gonna rotate it around. Once I'm happy with the body, I think just maybe more muscular. There's also an option for height. Yeah, this is the right height. I'm happy with all of this. Now I will move on to hair, and I have a few hairstyles to select from, and these are pre-made hairstyles. We can always make custom hairstyles in Blender, which I'll discuss in a further tutorial. But for now, let's give him a nice afro. Groom assets are a little heavier, so they take a second to load. Once it's done, you'll see it's how photoreal this asset is. And now if I want to change the parameters of this hair asset, I can always click on details here, and maybe I can reduce my melanin to make it more towards the white. I can increase it to make it black. I can add some redness. Dye color works when melanin is at an all-time low, and then I can use a dye and it's gonna change the color of my hair. So for that, the melanin needs to be low. If it's high, then the dye is not gonna work. So just keep that in mind. And not so much, maybe like an anime. And this is cool. Now I'll go back to selection. I'm just gonna give him some nice eyebrows. I'm gonna double click. I'm gonna get some eyebrows here as well. I'm just gonna give him a beard now. I'm just gonna give him long curly eyelashes. I'm gonna give him a nice horseshoe stubble. I'm gonna make sure all the details are here for all my groom assets. So my mustache is here. I'm just gonna make sure the melanin is like, so he looks kind of funky now. And yeah, I can make all kinds of changes. I can always go back to the head. I can click on transform. I can just move my eyes around a bit. I can just move the nose around a bit to just make those macro changes to the face. I can move the lips around a bit. I can work with the chin, and so on and so forth. If I'm happy with what I've created, now I've just taken this guy into another direction. I am just gonna click on download textures. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm gonna download 2K textures, but you can go ahead, if you have no space constraints, you can download 4K and 8K textures. So I'm gonna download 2K textures from now. This is done. I'm just gonna just a bit more. And once I'm done with all of this, I am just going to click on create full rig. This can take a while, so just be patient. And our Metahuman is rigged now. So before we go ahead and assemble this Metahuman, it'll be nice to see it in action. So here I'm going to come to the right side in the preview details tab, select a face animation first. I'll go to template animation and select maybe happy. And then I'll select a similar animation for the body, and I'll probably select a body ROM and I'll press play. And voila. So I'm just going to go here into this assembly tab and I'm going to click assemble. This is the part that takes the most amount of time, so might as well just go grab a coffee and come back. This is a GPU intensive task, so it takes a while, depending on your hardware specs.
So while all of this is happening, let's talk about today's sponsor, Basement Co. I'm just bored and I did not know what to put in here, so Basement Co is a studio that I own, and it is the place that is open for experimentations, creation and expression. So log on to our website and find all the details in the description to know more about Basement Co and what kind of things we have been up to.
So once this is done, I'm going to go back into my level. I am just going to see that PP Amana blueprint of the Metahuman is ready. I am just going to click on it and drag and drop him into the level. And voila! Here we go. Obviously, you would be thinking that what about his clothes? What about his hair? What about other accessories? We will talk about these things in the upcoming videos. But this brings us to the end of the tutorial, that how to scan any face and just bring them as a Metahuman character inside Unreal Engine.
Alright guys, that brings us to the end of the tutorial. I guess you guys had a great time watching this video, and stay tuned for further parts of this series. So if you guys like these videos, then please hit the like button, press the subscribe button, also press the bell icon to never miss a notification, and yada yada yada. I hope you had fun. Thank you.